Hello everyone and welcome to the Wolves Fancast YouTube channel. I'm Dan Hughes, not Danny Murphy, and this season I'm doing a new feature called FIFA Gree. I'll be previewing Wolves' next game with one of our opponents, taking a trip down memory lane, going over former games, talking about former players, and then most importantly, having a game of FIFA 21 on the PlayStation against them. So let's go, see who we're playing this week. Right everyone, Lil Dan here, FIFA Fancast. Great, another week, another new episode. This week I've got Benj from the Crystal Palace Offside pod. How you doing, Benj?
Yeah, good mate. You good?
Yeah, all good here, all good
All
here.
good.
Title race decided this weekend.
What do you mean for? For who?
If either of us win, we go joint top for a couple of
Do
hours.
we?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't even realise that.
yeah,
Yeah, no, definitely.
we're
Oh,
both
that's
on
the biggest
10
game of the
points.
season. Oh, that's quality actually. What's the goal difference like with Everton though? Because our goal difference is quite bad.
We ain't talking about that point. I think you need a 7-goal turnaround. We needed 8-goal turnaround to
Oh,
go
okay.
top. But
Joint top sounds better.
we're joint top in some eyes.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
that's
so
not too
on
bad.
the back of the weekend's win over Fulham, was you happy with the performance? How do you think you fared so far this season? Bit up and down with results like us, but 10 points from 6 games isn't too bad.
It's not bad at all. To be honest, if you just said that at the beginning of the season, I would have taken it all day long. It's just like in the heat of the moment after a game's finished, I just find myself so like wound up and so like disconnected with like the team and the performances. It's only when you look at it as a total you think, oh, it's not actually that bad. I don't really know what I'm moaning about. But you can't complain. It's probably a bit better than I thought that we would do. It could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
That's really how it is at the moment.
So I mean, like looking back now, it was a good point that last game of the season against Tottenham, because going into the new season on the back of 8 defeats would have been pretty damning, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I would have been quite surprised if Roy had stayed after that 8. I'm pretty sure I heard that it was getting like towards the end of his tether, the chairman with him. If we'd had a bad start to the season, I think we would have had to make a change, definitely. But I just think we fell apart because we didn't have anything to play for. And there just felt like such a negative vibe around the whole club, just like even the way that we was playing football. We like to shore it up, win 1-0, get as many clean sheets as possible, and we just kept conceding the first goal, and we can't do anything after we concede the first goal. So yeah, it's just a bit flat.
Yeah, I mean, it has been sort of a short turnaround. The lack of pre-seasons that most teams have had may be the reason why Palace didn't change, because the short period of time to bring a new manager in and try and bed a new way of playing, which the general squad aren't used to playing. I think you were linked to Eddie Howe for a little period. Do you think that might have been an
To
ideal replacement or not?
be honest, I would have rather just waited out Roy for another season than Eddie Howe. I can't. He's a good manager. He stayed however many seasons in the Premier with Bournemouth, like 4 or 5. But there's a kind of misconception that he wasn't backed at Bournemouth, and he was heavily backed. He had a lot of money. It was his team that he brought up through the leagues. He had them in the Premier League, and then they got relegated. So I can't see. Yeah, go on.
He's been heavily backed since the League 2 days, not just in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Wolves fans, we've got such a what's the word? We don't rate Bournemouth. There is a level of hatred for Bournemouth just because of how much they were bankrolled through the lower leagues.
Yeah.
Basically, Bournemouth are a nothing club, aren't they?
It's the fairy tales that the media make it out like it's magic, and it's just like a great thing to to have happened.
Yeah.
But a lot of money goes into it. That's what's going to
And
happen.
then you look at some of his signings. I mean, how much he threw up the wall on Jordan Ibe and
That was awful, and Solanke as well.
Solanke. Yeah, I mean, it just seemed like he was playing Football Manager about 7 years ago and using his recruitment list then. That's the way it seemed like at the time. I mean,
Yeah.
it showed when he went to Burnley that he's not really the greatest manager, but he has got a reputation for being a decent manager. But when it's all laid down on the paper and you look at his recruitment and
basically how Bournemouth have fared the last couple of seasons, it's a bit damning for him. So maybe it was the right thing to keep Roy, because he's solid and reliable, isn't he, Roy?
Yeah.
Maybe with a bit more investment, he could get you pushing just outside Europa at a good, if you had a bit of luck, go along his way. But
yeah, I mean, kind of along those lines. I don't think we've backed him as much as we would have backed another manager purely because of his age, and he's not going to be here for much longer. I mean, even when we have backed him, just in general, like ever since he's come, we've not really spent too much compared to other managers that we've had in the past. He's probably been the least backed, and he's been here probably like the second longest since we've been in the league. But we buy players that I don't think he wants, because we've got Eze that's sitting on the bench after the 7th game. I think he started once and he's come on like 3 times.
Yeah.
And he was meant to be like the marquee signing. He should be the one that the fans are excited about, and he just doesn't get played at all.
Yeah, I mean, he has come with a lot of potential and a decent reputation. I mean, I saw a few games of his in the Championship last season, and he did look a level above at times. But from what I've gathered and what I've read through various social media channels, Andros has been playing quite well for you this season. So maybe that's why he hasn't sort of pushed his way into the starting lineup yet.
He's made a massive improvement, but he usually plays on the right of a 4-4-2. And I've seen a few QPR fans when he first joined that said, please play him in the 10. Don't play him out wide. And every time he's come on, he's played out wide. So it's probably why he's not been as effective. But he's not really had a lot of time to be effective either.
No, I think like going back to what we just said about Roy being reliable, having Schlupp on the left wing gives Roy that bit more security in front of his defence, doesn't he? That's probably why he hasn't really gone all out. I mean, if you got sort of Wilf, Eze, and just are they the sort of players that I'm going to do the donkey work that Roy wants?
Yeah, no, they're not the type of players. He doesn't want too many of those players on the pitch. You can tell Schlupp's mainly playing left mid at the moment because we've got a youngster at left back.
Yeah,
although he's quite good. Yeah, although he's quite good at actually tackling. You can see his position's a bit off sometimes, which obviously it comes with experience. But I mean, Schlupp really helps him out.
Is Schlupp more of a full-back himself?
We actually bought him as a left back.
Yeah.
But he's rarely played left back. He's always played left mid, or he's occasionally done a job in actually like centre midfield.
Yeah.
But he really comes back and supports Mitchell, which I don't think if we had PVA playing, he wouldn't need to do too much.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's another thing that Roy's looking at, having Van Arnold and Eze on that left. It does leave you quite open defensively, because obviously Van Arnold, as good as he is defensively, he's better going forward.
Yeah, I mean it's all well and good. Like I'm all for not conceding goals, but at the same time, if the more you're putting in defence, the less you're putting in attack, and it just makes for boring football to watch. So as long as it gets results, you can't moan. But when it doesn't, it's frustrating.
We've been having sort of similar questions recently where Wolves fans, we want a bit more of a attacking style of play, because at the moment it's more of a try and dominate teams with possession and get that first goal, and then if we get a second goal, great, but we're happy with the 1-0. Honestly, this is shit. Completely lost my train of thought. Honestly,
I really wouldn't be.
Wolves fans have become so frustrated recently because Nuno sets up to win games 1-0. And like as you saw in the Newcastle game, because you're only playing to win 1-0, you're leaving yourself with finer margins that if you do get caught, you ain't giving yourself enough time to go and get another winner.
Exactly that. The same thing happened in the Brighton game for us. We had one shot on target all game. It was a penalty.
Yeah.
And we would, from like the 20th minute, we were just all in our box, just soaking up everything. And then one player will make a mistake and the fan base go after that player completely. But it's like if you get 20 balls thrown at you, one is going to go not your way. So you can't blame individual players. But I'm really shocked that Wolves fans are feeling like that, to be fair, because looking from the outside in, I wouldn't have thought that you'd be too sad about what's going on.
I mean, I'm not sure how much you actually saw of the Wolves Newcastle game on Sunday. Obviously, up until the 80th minute, we had sort of over 60% possession, winning the game 1-0. And then as soon as we went 1-0 up, our possession went to 30% because he literally just settled for the 1-0. And that's why it's so frustrating, because when you look at the players that we've got at our disposal, Podence, Neto, Raul, Adama, Neves, they're all creative players. So when you're not creating enough chances to go and get a second goal, and I'm not sure if you saw Jimenez's goal, it was a goal that doesn't go in every game. It was a cracking volley.
Yeah, no, I did see that one.
So it's just a bit disappointing with the players that we've got at our disposal, that we're not killing teams off a lot easier. But I don't know how that sort of reflects on how Roy sets up.
Roy would set up for a 0-0 draw from the start.
Yeah.
That's the difference there. And if we went 2-0 down, he wouldn't make any attacking subs to try and get it back. He'd much rather concede a 2-0 loss and make it not a 3-0 loss. So that's where most of the frustration comes up from as well.
So sort of going back to the sort of summer transfer window, I take it you're still happy that Wilf's there?
Oh, yeah. Over the moon. He's 1 in a million player. If we're going to sell him for how much we're asking for, which is 70 million, which I don't think anyone's going to pay. He's hitting his prime. He's probably hit his prime this season, to be fair. He wants Champions League football. Do you think that's
because he hasn't got the move that he was looking for, that he's finally decided to maybe knuckle down and take the responsibility that his skill justifies?
He kind of did that last season as well. Well, I think it was the Arsenal move more than the Everton rumours, because I can't imagine him wanting to go to Everton. But he's an Arsenal fan, so I could see that. But yeah, I think he's never thrown his toys out the pram, to be fair to him. You've never seen his attitude change or anything like that. So that's the one thing I could always say about that. But he just knows to play football, get recognised, get better, and then you get your move. But I can't see any Champions League club at the moment that needs a player like Wilf, to be fair, for the amount of money that they've got to spend. It's not how much he's worth, it's how much he's worth to us.
It sounds like it's the same sort of similar boat with us with Adama Traore.
Exactly the same.
If a club wants to pay the money that Wolves want for him, then I wouldn't begrudge Wolves selling him. It's the same with Diogo Jota. I know he scored again for Liverpool last night, but the money that we were offered for him and the fact that he wasn't getting the game time before the move, the move was great for all parties as far as I was concerned. But as much as you don't want to lose those players, if you're going to get the money you want and you're going to reinvest it into a better overall squad with depth, then it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer, especially the money what do you get in the end for that 35 mil?
45 after
45 mil.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer. I mean, he will score more goals for Liverpool because he's getting more and more chances every game than what he would at Wolves. But 45 million, if we've already reinvested on some really good up and coming players, so hopefully, maybe not this season, but next season or the season after, we can maybe push for that top 4 if we reinvest again, which I'm hoping that we will, because we should have a lot of net spend from what I'm reading. So, and obviously the owners that we've got aren't here to muck about that. They've talked about a 10-year plan, and I think we're quite ahead of it from what we read originally. What's your sort of opinions on Steve Parish at the moment?
I've always been a big fan of Steve. I've always liked Steve. He's a Palace fan. I think most of the things he does is for the good of the club.
Can't really ask for much more from an owner, can you?
You can't ask for much more. I see a lot of people saying he's not spending his money, bad decisions here or there, but you got to kind of think, I'd much rather that than someone like Mike Ashley. 100%. It just means that he's not going to panic and do something. He's always quite collected, and you can see every transfer, apart from ones that are like deadline day, they've been fought through quite a lot. And we are so stingy with transfer fees, but they turn out to be the best ones. Yeah. Which is, at the end of the day, you can say fair enough, because we're not a massive club. We haven't got an endless amount of money coming in. We can't compete like that. So 15 million for Eze, that's absolutely brilliant. That would have done me for the transfer window, to be fair.
So we're saying, going back to Eddie Howe, £15 million compared to, was it £30 million spent on Jordan Ibe?
Yeah, something ridiculous like that.
You talk about being stingy, but it's shrewd, isn't it?
Yeah, it is shrewd. And I think it's more not bowing down to what the manager wants as well. I'm not too clued up about what's going on at Bournemouth, but if a manager's coming to you saying 30 million for Jordan Ibe's a good deal, and the chairman's not even, go on, we'll do that. don't think it's like that at all.
I think it's just all based on reputation. It's a bit like he plays for Liverpool, so he's got to be worth this much. When realistically, he's only worth this much. There has to be better recruitment, and so I'm not sure what the current developments are, and especially I imagine it's probably on the back burner because of the pandemic. But any movements from Selhurst Park in the near future?
As in what, players going out or?
No, the stadium itself. Is there any redevelopment? There was talks of that, wasn't there?
We had plans that were actually like confirmed for a new main stand, which is our stand where the dugout is basically.
Yeah.
I don't think that stand's ever been changed since it was built, and that was built in like 1924.
Yeah.
They were going to change that, so our capacity went from 26 to I think it was 34. So it had an extra 8,000 seats.
Yeah.
And all the plans look absolutely amazing for it as well. As a proper like the outside's like a glass palace basically, because of what the Crystal Palace actually was before that got burnt down. That was kind of what they were going for it. But the problem is we've got so many like houses and stuff surrounding the stadium. It's quite hard to go outwards. And it took about a year or so to agree with the council to remove like the houses that are kind of behind it. And I now think we're down to Sainsbury's not letting us have their car park.
Right.
But yeah, the building was meant to start like last year, and it hasn't. So I think all the plans and that are in place. I think we've got the finances. It's just a case of getting the last few bits done.
So there's no imminent move to just getting you out of South East London and making the away fans' journey a lot easier.
No, we're always going to stay there.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Parish has always.
What a ball ache it is
there
to get to Crystal Palace from the north.
Where would you have to go? So I see a lot of
You've got to
fans
go
go
around the M25 to get there, haven't you?
Oh, what, driving?
Yeah.
Yeah, driving. Yeah, you'd have to come. Yeah, we're completely the other end from where Wolverhampton is.
Yeah.
God, that is a nightmare. And then when you actually get there, have you tried parking around there?
Yeah, it's just a nightmare. I mean, just London in general is a nightmare. I mean, how far is it from the train station?
We've got 2 train stations, probably both about a 10-minute walk.
Yeah. Yeah. Something that I know a lot of away fans would like you to do at MK Dons and come a bit easier to get to, but that's your home, isn't it? And obviously you ain't got to worry about Wimbledon taking your stadium for games every now and again anymore.
I wouldn't have it any other way, to be fair.
So, just a quick question. Obviously, you played Brighton the other week, settled for the 1-1 draw. If you was to get offered 7th place this season or Brighton get relegated, what would you choose? Bearing in mind, 7th might get you a Europa qualifier game.
I'd probably go 7th, to be honest. I don't really care about them too much. They'll probably get relegated the season after, to be fair. We've got to go for Europe. That's the one thing. We've been here 8 years now. There's been so many times that we're looking hopeful for it and it just falls off. But that's the absolute dream, just to get to any European game, even if it's the 3rd qualifying round and it's an away game somewhere like Azerbaijan. That'll do me.
You sound like me about 5 years ago when Wolves got relegated to League One. I said, I made a deal with the devil. I said, I don't care whether Chinese billionaires come in, buy the club. If they can get us into Europe, they can take us out of business after that. I just want to see Wolves in Europe in my lifetime.
Yeah.
4 years later, in Europe, and I'm thinking, oh, shit.
That's crazy. 4 years. That's unbelievable.
That's how far Wolves have come. It's been an amazing roller coaster since Fosun came in. So getting back quickly to our game, obviously apart from the main man, Wilfred Zaha, who should Wolves be more wary of come Friday night?
I'd actually say, given performances from pre-season and how we played on Saturday against Fulham, Riedewald in midfield, he's looking like an absolute quality player.
So what sort of midfielder is he? Because I'm not going to lie to you, when I saw him play last season, I didn't think he looked like a footballer. I don't know whether it's his running.
Yeah, I mean,
stance,
I got that as well. I get what you're saying. He wore a really baggy shirt and he just looked square. He looked like he got
reminded me like he could have played NFL.
Yeah, no, he looked quite like he didn't look like he had the physique of a footballer. No, I definitely thought that last year as well.
So is he a box to box or is he a holding? What?
He can do both. When it's box to box, he's more defensive than he's attacking. But he's really good with the ball at his feet. He can bring the ball from defence and help out the strikers and the wingers.
So he's obviously better in front of Luka.
Yeah, I don't really rate Luka too well, to be honest. He's
just a fancy Premier League player, isn't he? He gets the occasional penalty and assist, but apart from that, he's pretty bog standard.
He was a really good midfielder when he come in. We were missing a captain, we was missing a leader, and he seemed like he'd fill that role. And we only got it for 10 million from Anderlecht. So it seemed like a bargain at the time. And we got 2 good years out of him. I think the year before last, whenever he scored like 12 penalties in one season, that was his best season for us. Because he literally would start every game because he was the best midfielder. And I think it got to a point where he was only starting games just in case you got a penalty. That's what it got to. But now, he's probably like 4th choice now.
Yeah, Roy probably had him in his fantasy team last season. That's probably why he was getting game time.
Probably, to be fair.
So, as our viewers probably have seen in recent episodes, I do a little segment called BFS, which is beer, fight and FIFA. So I want you to choose who you'd have a beer with, who you'd have a fight with, and who you'd have a game of FIFA with. And this week's episode, I want you to choose between Bakary Sakho, Mamadou Sakho, and Wayne Hennessy. So who are you going to have a beer with, who are you going to have a fight with, and who are you going to have a game of FIFA with?
I'm definitely not fighting any of the Sackos, to be fair. I'd fight Hennessy every day of the week out of them. I'd probably go for a beer with Mamadou and play FIFA with Bakary.
Do you reckon Mamadou's good for a session, or do you reckon he's more into his like wines and spirits?
I think he's more of a wine and spirits guy. He's French, so he's yeah, exactly. It just looks such a laugh as well. He's always got something mental going on Instagram and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely that. Bakary's also seems a bit of a laugh, but he's probably more of a FIFA player than Mamadou, to be fair.
I can imagine Bakary's quite tidy on FIFA. He seems a sort of guy that he plays with his kids quite regularly, so he might be a bit decent.
Yeah, definitely. And then obviously fight Wayne Hennessy.
What's the sort of general opinion of Wayne Hennessy at Palace?
I don't know. I really don't know anymore. I think the majority know that he's not good. He's not good at all. He hasn't been good for about 3 years. But you get the odd people that really rate him for some reason. I can't see why.
I don't think his penalties landed yet, has it?
That didn't help. I think he could have been hero to zero. That's the quickest hero to zero I've ever seen.
He did get his through it.
Yeah, when he first joined us, it was off. He made his first appearance on like the 8th game of the season, and we had Alex McCarthy who just signed. I remember by the 7th game thinking Alex McCarthy's awful. I never want to see him play again. And Hennessy come in and it was like a godsend. It was like, oh my God, a keeper that can actually keep. And then the last like 3 years or so have just been awful to watch.
Yeah. I think he's, I wouldn't say he's necessarily a confidence keeper, because he definitely has got talent. I've seen him make some unreal saves, and his distribution's always been pretty decent for a goalkeeper in this day and age. But still a bit frustrated the way that he left Wolves so many years ago. Obviously was in League One. He was due to play a game at Gillingham away and pretty much threw his dummy out the pram and pretty much forced to move out. And at the time, we were pushing for promotion in League One, so we kind of needed him at that level. But thankfully, we had Carl Akimi, great keeper in the end. He got us up, and Wayne got his move in the end, which was a bit Judas-like, but he got the move.
I never knew about that, to be fair. Did he move to Palace straight from Wolves?
Went to Palace, yeah.
Straight from there. No, I didn't actually know about that.
You were in the Premier League, so it was. I understood him wanting the move, but to refuse to play games, I think it's just a bit.
Nah, that's a bad
unsavoury in today's game when with how much money players earn and whatnot.
He was with you for quite a while as well, wasn't he?
He came from sort of. I'm not sure. He was at Man City's academy, and I think we poached him from there. But he pretty much that from like youth level to start. I mean, he started his first game was in playoff semi-final. So I mean, it was a big step up for him.
Yeah.
But and he was our keeper in the season that we won promotion from the Championship under Mick McCarthy. So I mean, there are happy memories with him in goals. Just a bit unsavoury the way it ended. So obviously we had this conversation off air before we started, and I know you're a bit young, but can I get a prediction for the Kevin Muscat derby the weekend?
I'd actually probably say 1-0 Wolves.
Just because, I mean,
The way that you've said it today while we've been speaking here, how you go 1-0 up and defend, I think if you used to do that, you'd have no problems at all. Because if you go 1-0 up to defend, we're going to defend the 1-0.
Yeah.
If we score the first goal, I think it'd be a complete different story. I don't think we'll lose if we score the first goal.
Yeah.
But I'd bank more on a draw than a win, to be fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I had to put money on it, 1-0 Wolves.
I mean, we talked about it earlier. Zaha, one of the first games that I remember him when he absolutely pillaged Stephen Ward and Molineux. I've never saw. Honestly, it was just a dismantling of a fullback that night. I mean, I remember the Palace fans singing, "He's just too good for me" from the away end, and it was just like.
I think that's where it started. I think that's where the chant started, was Wolves away. I'm pretty sure.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Did we have Balassi that game as well on the other wing? So that was game over. Especially that year in the Championship, no one could deal with him.
Yeah, Zaha that night. I mean, Stephen Ward somehow ended up getting we got relegated that season. Stephen Ward ended up getting a move to the Premier League. I've never saw dismantling like that. He was just unreal that night. Wilf with Zaha was the 2 goals that he scored were. You could tell he was going to be a special talent, and obviously here we are now. Him being, linked through like £70 million moves and whatnot. So you've predicted Wolves 1-0. I mean, I'll be happy with that. I just think with the way that I can't really disagree with what you're saying. If you were to go 1-0 up, it would be interesting to see how Wolves would fare with that, because I think we've shown in recent games and over maybe the last 3 years, teams that sit in, we do struggle to break down. So I mean, it should be a good game on Friday night with it being on. With it being on Sky Box Office, it's going to be a 0-0 ball draw.
I'm not going to buy it, to be honest.
No.
I'd rather listen to the radio.
There's quite a few campaigns out there for the people who are watching. Try and donate to your local food banks if you can, instead of paying, because it's £15 ridiculous in today's. And as far as I'm concerned, if you're going to force the hand of people, don't come crying when they go other ways.
Match of the day is free the day after.
Yeah. And there's various outlets out there on the internet and radio stations for you to participate on. So, most important question is, how do you think you're going to fare against me on FIFA, and what was the first FIFA that you played?
I'll go to first FIFA I played first. That I can remember, probably 2003. I'm pretty sure that's the one with Del Piero. Henry, and there was another player on there as well. It could have been Del Piero, Edgar Davids.
Yeah, I think of a picture. Was that one of the first FIFAs where you could pretty much score a free kick from anywhere as long as you got it in the little circle correctly at the bottom right corner?
That was the last FIFA that had the circle thing on, and it's the last FIFA. They used to put the water bottles on the goal line from the free kick as well. So if you drilled it across before, you could hit that. But yeah, no, that's the first FIFA I played, and then to be honest, I've played every FIFA ever since.
Right. So let's go and have a game of FIFA.
Right.
Hello and welcome. This is the scene here at Molineux.
Let's go.
Oh, this camera angle, man.
Oh, is that an issue for you? Already making excuses already?
Nah, we'll wait for it to go out of play, mate. Wait for it to go out of play. He's playing like Nuno here.
I ain't got Adama running down the wing here.
So is he actually not going to play? What, is he injured or something? Or
He just doesn't really. He is a confidence player, and he hasn't. He has 1 in 8 good games. He's very frustrating.
I was trying to make a point on Twitter the other day, and I was actually looking at some stats of like the wingers in the league, because someone did one of those. I ranked these like top to bottom, and it was Saint-Maximin, Traore, Zaha, and someone else, Bowen or someone like that. I was looking at all their goals and appearances, and Traore's got 4 Premier League goals or 6 Premier League goals, something like that.
Terrible stats. I mean, it's like what I said earlier. If someone wants to pay the money that Wolves would want for Adama Traore, just let him go, because we can reinvest the money better. He's really frustrating because you can see yourself that he's unplayable. If you talk about like Wilf being 1 in a million, I think Adama's probably 1 in 2 million, just because of how raw and how fast and just how physical he can be.
Yeah, there's no way. If you said to someone, name a player that's like Traore, you really couldn't, to be fair.
No, there isn't a player out there for me. Oh! Nowhere near.
Struggling to get out here. This is Roy. I've got to blame Roy for this.
He's set up for the draw, but to be honest, this is Wolves. Like we never score in the first half. I mean, that's another stat. If you haven't noticed, if you have a look at our stats, we rarely score in the first half. Oh,
For a corner.
Come on, Rui, you could have caught that.
He's the bane of my life on this game, Rui.
He is a good keeper, isn't he?
He's so good on this game.
The Leeds game, I won 4-1, and it was ridiculous how he kept me in the game.
What do you kind of feel like on your overall vibe of like your identity is like the Portuguese English team?
Oh dear.
Here we go. I've asked a question at the wrong time. That is the man I've told you to look out for.
Is that the NFL player?
It's Gyro.
I can't believe that. He hasn't even got the same haircut as him. What's going on there?
Yeah, no, they've not updated him in about 4 years. That's still his Ajax face.
Opened us up easy there, Wolves. Gotta try and get back into this.
See, I'm not going to sit back. Keep going. But yeah, no, about the Portuguese, like English.
Yeah, it's frustrating because we have got a lot of Portuguese players, but we aren't doing much different to what other teams have done in the past. It's just because Wolves are now got the pace of the kid here. Just because Wolves are doing well now, people seem to just jump on the bandwagon that we are just Portugal or Wolves, Chigal, or whatever you want to call us.
Yeah. Have there been times where you thought like you've made a sign-in from Portugal and one of the main reasons is because he's Portuguese?
Well, I think like you have a look at the window that we've just had, and we've just signed like an 18-year-old kid from Porto. We signed another kid from Porto. And it's very frustrating, but obviously that's what... Well, there's talks that Nuno has the final say on players, but when you have like the links to Jorge Mendes, it's
that's a good goal.
Apart here. Honestly, I did say to you, I thought it was going to be a tough game tonight, but yeah, struggling here.
To be fair though, I think if we did a bit of shoot house, I don't think I'd stand a chance. To be fair.
Might have to mix it up at half time.
Have a 1v1 quick scope, no scope.
No, I think I'm going to have to bring on Adama at half time and out for the best.
Yeah, what we saying half time, make whatever subs you want.
You can do whatever you want, yeah.
Same formations or change or?
You can do whatever you want.
True.
I might have to ban you from making any moves though, to be honest, because this goes 3-0.
If it goes to 3, I won't make any move.
I might have to start blaming connection.
Oh, bye, Bolly.
How has he got through Bolly there? Come on,
I don't know, but I knew that would happen as soon as I got through there. That's the one thing on this game I can't finish under pressure, and that's why I get ruined in the weekend league so much. Oh no, it's a good ball, a really good ball.
Pedro Neto, the last man I want on a header.
So what formation is this? 5-3-2?
5-2-3.
2-3. Oh yeah, one striker. You know what? I really wouldn't be shocked if it's 0-0. the way I'm looking at that. What about the West Ham game? That's one thing that really surprised me because they were playing bad football.
Yeah, that was like one of the biggest like downers so far because it just came out of nowhere. But I think it's just the same. Bloody hell! It's like the Premier League. A lot of the games, if you get that first goal, you give yourself a good chance, and then our heads sort of dropped.
That was a good, dangerous ball.
Just like Wolves at the moment, we just don't get enough bodies in the box.
But that's what happens when you play 5 at the back.
Yeah, so that's what I said to you earlier. It's just we are set up to try and win games 1-0.
But I mean, at least you're trying to win games 1-0 and not draw every game 0-0 and hope to get a lucky thing. Like 2 games in a row, Brighton and Chelsea, we registered no shots on target.
Yes.
Which I don't care how defensive you're trying to be, that's shocking for a Premier League team.
Yeah. To be honest, not even a Premier League team, any team that sort of... Oh, I wasn't even going there, Raoul.
In a competitive game, yeah, of a league fixture, I think no team in the world should be getting no shots on target. That's unacceptable. And then 2 in a row. But yeah.
Yeah, obviously... 2-0. I think you had 3 or 4 shots. I don't think I've even tested Gator, which is quite disappointing. But Wolves fans, this is what I keep saying. Nuno needs to change things, needs to get us more on the front foot. You're just relying on that front 3 to do all the work.
Who's replaced Jota?
Poland came in January.
Oh yeah, Ponens. What's he like?
I really like Daniel Powell. He's small like me, but he's very direct. He likes to try and create. He's not one that likes to recycle possession just for the sake of it to then rebuild it. If he can beat a player, he will. He's one that fans will get up off their seats when he will do like the occasional L1 skill.
That's great though. That's what you want.
Yeah.
You don't want a team full of us look at the box, turn around and pass it back to the midfielders.
Are you ready to go?
Yeah, we're good.
Right, let's go.
Only thing I changed is the camera angle because I couldn't be dealing with being that low down.
Okay. I mean, another thing, Palace have probably suffered as well with this is not having any fans in the stadium.
To be honest, in a way, like I love match day because of the fans. I sit in the stand, and the main reason I chose to get a ticket there was because of the fans and stuff. But our home record since in coming up, it's been awful compared to the away record.
Yeah.
I sometimes actually think it's a bit intimidating for the players.
Yeah.
There's a lot more pressure of us playing at home than another team if they're playing at home, which I think is kind of why we thrive so much as an away team.
Pedro.
That's a good bit of play. That was a good bit of play. But yeah, I think that's been our main problem this season as well. Every game we go into, we are the away team, home or away.
I mean, like, you've got quite a decent reputation for having a decent atmosphere.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say it's a bad atmosphere at all. It probably is the best home atmosphere in the league. I ain't got a doubt about that. And it doesn't really get too toxic unless it's like it grows over a few months, and then it's just like even before the game it gets like it. It's not really very reactionary.
Yeah.
But I mean, the group of lads that actually like run that section, it's all properly run. People don't just turn up and start singing. There's like a group of 100 of them, and it's like forums, and it's properly organised. So I wouldn't be surprised if the chants and that weren't organised as well.
Yeah.
But they dictate everything. So if they're unhappy, it's going to make the whole ground seem unhappy. So they've kind of got rule of the roost really when it comes to the atmosphere.
Gotta be.
There we go.
Just noticed that my substitution at half-time for Adama one hasn't even happened.
Is it not?
No.
Did you let the timer run out?
We just haven't been at the races today. And this could easily happen. Wilf turns up.
Oh, we're not scoring 3. Don't worry about that. Unless you're really bad in the box and giving penalties away.
Right. 25 minutes left. I've got to try and bring on Adama to try and save some face here, because 3-0 at the Molineux would not go down well.
Who's come off? Neves on Neto. See, I think Adama on FIFA is one of the only players that they've actually kind of got spot on.
Yeah.
Because he's powerful, he gets through everything, but you put him in front of goal. And you see what happens.
Yeah, he is a FIFA Ultimate Team player's dream, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't. His shooting's bad on it anyway. But every team I come up against has got him.
Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of FIFA Ultimate Team, just because I don't believe the chemistry thing's set up right, because it's still whoever's got the fastest players most of the time.
It's such a hard balance, because I mean, like, I know it's a game at the end of the day, but even in actual football, pace does play a massive factor. It's just that it's harder to abuse the way actual football's made, because it's actual football. But people always find a way to abuse a game. I much prefer Ultimate Team the first month, and then after the first month, everyone finds out that one shot that you score every time when you haven't got to be good, and it just ruins the game.
The defence today has been all over the shop. Gonna have to get them in the.
Was that a save?
Must have been. They ain't getting tomorrow off these players.
Got to keep the clean sheet. Do Roy proud. Oh no. Oh, Adama. Oh,
Get
why have I
that ball in,
spoke?
still in this, boys.
Why have I spoke? That's Tyreek's positioning, mate. He's young.
Yeah, he took his eye off Adama for 1 second.
And he's gone like a flash. Oh, it's not going to be in Istanbul, is it?
No. He's done it. The keeper's there.
Too tight.
Bowled by the Batman. And he's just done that.
Oh,
Come on, Rui, get your head on here. Getting desperate now, just launching Route 1 to Adama.
probably what's going to get you the goals, eh?
Not sure how my player hasn't just intercepted that there.
Something there, come on. Andros is right. That's one other thing that kind of annoys me. I think Wilf and Andros are on the wrong wings because they're oh my god, he's through. Oh, that's a massive save. Oh my god,
that is Adama. He'll score an absolute worldie like he's just done and then just do that. Unbelievable. Come on, don't let him back into you like that, Wolves.
oh, siphon him down.
The little man lost his temper there.
Story of the day: Wilf Zaha's been fouled.
Yeah. Certainties in life, death, tax, and Wilf getting in foul.
Oh, that's a 50-50. tell you what, Adama's changed this game. You should have made that sub a lot sooner. Oh my god.
No, it's just too little, too late.
Just off. Oh. I've never watched that either.
Come on, Nelson.
How's he picked that up?
Disappointing.
Game, mate.
It was I did think it was going to be a tough game today with Mr. 30 games on the weekend. A lot of training still to do on this FIFA quest of mine this season.
No, it's a good game. Adama changed it. You should have brought him on half time. Was it? Yeah, no, half time. You wanted to bring him on, actually, to be fair.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's a long season. I'll try and get the better of you at Sellers Park later on the season if you're available. I do appreciate you taking your time to have a chat with me tonight and beat me at FIFA.
Honestly, thanks for having me on, mate. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, so,
appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, and I'll speak to you soon. And good luck for Friday, but not too much good luck.
You too, mate. You too.
Yeah, take care.